folks. Welcome to our welcome to our second, really the second session of our business planning event. Last week, Todd went over the four foundations in your life, and really what he talked about was imagine a table with four legs, and if one of those legs is a little off kilter, then your whole plan is a little rocky. Right. So, and he talked about those the four foundations being faith, family, fitness, and finance, and really having a plan for each one of those legs, each one of those pillars in your life. And if you don't, or you're struggling, or you're like, boy, how do I do that? Listen, you got managing directors, you've got Sarah, you've got a whole team that will help you get those established. So in fact, if you even want to call me, you can find me on the roster. I'll even help you plan any one of those four foundations in your life, because we want you to have a balanced, absolutely successful life. And today, we're going to dive into the business planning side of real estate. And I'm going to start kind of high level. We're going to have a little bit of bonus content. We're going to start high level, and then we're going to work all the way down for your business plan.
Jimmy, thank you. He did that all on the fly because I had this little spill I was going to give. So thank you, Jimmy. But I believe I'm ready to go. You guys can see a screen that says "Welcome to Map It Out." Correct?
Right.
All right. Awesome. It was scary there for a moment. All right. I need everyone to do me a favor. Good morning. Thank you all for joining us. Do a favor for me. Turn on your microphones, because we need to give a shout out to our sponsors. And instead of me saying blah, 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 I thought it'd be awesome if I say who the sponsor is, that you guys can all shout out thank you. How's that for a different game plan? So
let's go for it.
On, please. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So,
Thank you.
Love it.
Thank you. Yes. So Idaho Blueprint is home loans. It's for you in Iowa. Our closing sponsor, Escrow Professional. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Fairway Independent Mortgage, our Kansas mortgage sponsor, we say
Thank
you. Thank you.
Land Title Guarantee Company out of Colorado, we say
Thank
you.
Platinum Title, also from Kansas, we say
Thank
you.
Is really effective. Okay, and then we have a brand new sponsor. It's New American Funding. It's our Iowa mortgage sponsor. We want to say welcome and
thank you.
Thank you. Guys. I love
this
that.
Is awesome.
That's way better. Just so you know, we if you don't already have the business planning workbook, this is where you can go to Change Lives Academy. Now I have to go to more, and then find the education center, scroll all the way to the bottom, and then you can print it or whatever you need to do. So Jimmy was giving us an overview of what Todd covered last week. All right. And he asked us to be what? He gave us one word: committed. So hopefully you spent some time thinking about that and you showed up today committed. And if you didn't, hopefully we'll inspire you to take that next step. So, Jimmy.
Yes.
I think you brought a surprise guest, didn't you?
Yeah. It might be a surprise to him.
Oh. It's a surprise. It's a total surprise to me too. So let's go for it. I love this.
All right. It is Rachel Delzell.
It's
me. We thought we'd squeeze her in because she has some really awesome news for our whole entire company. Rachel, welcome.
Thank you.
Rachel, are you going to tell us about this amazing marketing that you guys are doing?
I am.
Let's go for it.
And this is going to help with that commitment part and consistency part. I'm super, super excited to introduce this to you guys. It's new to everyone except Iowa agents, and it's CB Connect, our monthly direct mail postcard program that's designed to get you more referrals and more leads from your sphere of influence, which I know Jimmy is going to talk even more about. Sarah, so thank you. 74% of marketers like me, believe that direct mail delivers the best response rates and return on investment of any marketing method. And I know some of you out there are like, that's old school, blah, blah, blah. But I'm telling you guys, this is an amazing, amazing program. And one thing I do want to add to that fact is the consistency of it. And you'll see that with our program, it's monthly. So the consistency is there. It's a set it and forget it. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, so what is it? It is a direct mail program to keep you top of mind with your sphere of influence. So when you join, you'll select your contacts and they'll receive one postcard per month that's localized and seasonal, as you can see here with one of these examples, and personalized with your agent headshot and information. So this comes right from you to your sphere of influence. And it not only gives you that first touch point with that first piece of mail, we always provide another opportunity for a secondary touch point. Again, I'm sure Jimmy's going to talk even more about this stuff. And you know what? Don't take it from me. Take it from some of our top Iowa agents that love this program and have been in it for years. One of those agents is James Von Gillern out of our Westtown office, who actually just had a baby last weekend. But he loves the postcard program, the CB Connect postcard program, so much that he took the time out to give me a testimonial. He's so passionate. So one of those things he said, and you can read his full quote, but he says, it's amazing how many past clients mention the postcards. Vicki Beveridge out of our Ankeny office backs that up. But not only that, she says this year I had 11 listings come from people that she sent her postcards to. That's amazing. Now let's actually hear it all the way from Mexico. Our #1 agent in Iowa, Julie Bowdler, wants to give a testimonial too.
Hello there from beautiful Mexico. There you go. Happy Focus Friday. I just want to get on here really quick and give you a quick testimonial on the postcard program that we offer at Coldwell Banker. And my team has been using it for about 16 years and have had huge success. I usually get anywhere from 2 to 3 to 4 repeat clients or people that have been getting my postcard for 10 years and then it's time for them to move. And I also get hit up on social media when they get things, when my sphere of influence gets a postcard, they will sometimes put it on social media saying, just got this postcard from my favorite realtor. So I've had great success with it. I've been using it since year 2, and the marketing team makes it super easy. So they'll just plug in your SOI and they'll take care of it all for you. So I suggest you do it. Have a great day. Thanks.
Awesome. So I don't even have to sell this to you guys because it's just such an awesome program. I know you're going to love it, but you're probably like, okay, how does this all work? It sounds like too good to be true. Sarah, let's check out the awesome website that Carrie put together for CB Connect, and you can see for yourself how you can sign up. So Sarah's going to changelivesacademy.com/postcard. And you guys, I'm going to send this out as an email to everybody after our business planning session too. So don't think you have to memorize anything. So this is the website that you'll go to. This is where you can sign up, and you can sign up now. So right after business planning, pay close attention to Jimmy and everything, but right after this, hop on there, get all the information you need, get signed up, and we can even check out some examples, Sarah, if you want to do that. The cost calculator is right there too for you guys. So all you need to do is sign up, upload your contacts, however many you want. You can figure that out through the cost calculator, check out the examples of what things are going to look like the next year. This starts in 2024. But do remember, if you're interested in this, the January postcard deadline is December 1st. So you've got a month to decide if you want to do this, to get your contacts uploaded, ask all the questions that you want to, but December 1st is the deadline for the CB Connect postcard for January. You do not have to sign up for the whole year. You know, you can sign up throughout the year. Let me just put it that way. So don't feel like, oh my gosh, I have to make that decision, but we would love you to, because then you're starting off January fresh, which I know Jimmy is going to talk about. And the whole year is set for you. Every single month, an awesome postcard goes out to your SOI, and you don't even have to think about it. But remember, if you want to think about it, we give you nice little reasons each time to reach out to your SOI. So like I said, we'll be sending an email out right after this session is done, and all the details will be included. Head to the website, check it out. I also want to give a quick shout out to my team, especially Carrie and Shayla, who put a lot of work into the design of this and to the strategy of this. It's awesome. You guys are going to love it. Please check it out when you see our email come through right after the business session. But that's all from me, Sarah.
Oh, Rachel, thank you so much. Can we see some thumbs up about who's excited about this? Yeah, I love it too. I think it's a really awesome program, and it's so exciting to bring it to the whole entire company. Thank you, marketing department and Rachel. Well, Jimmy, shall we map it out?
Yeah, let's map it out. I'm excited for this particular conversation that we're going to have. I am asking you as the audience, listen, if you have a question, pop in, ask the question, put it in the chat. I've got my AC over here, Maddie. She's watching the chat for us. So if you got a question, either just pop in and ask a question. We can be super interactive here as we go along. But yeah, let's dive right in. Let me just step back, because there's a couple concepts here and a couple terms that have come out just in this little intro. One of them is committed. Are you committed, or are you just interested? So I'd ask you to make a commitment right here and now to make 2024 your best year ever. Okay. And what does it mean to be committed? Well, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna give you some tools. We're gonna give you some strategies in order to stay focused next year, especially as the market's changing. As you know, we're changing. A lot of agents go, oh my goodness, right? In fact, I just had one on Monday go, oh my goodness, I've got a listing staying on the market for more than 2 weeks. And she was really just frustrated with it. And we had to go back, and some of the old sages said, hey, listen, we are getting back to a more traditional market. And what does that more traditional market mean? That means you have to stay committed. You have to stay consistent with the work that you're doing, the business, you treating your business like a business. And if you need a book, if you need something to validate really what we're saying, I recommend, this is this one's been around a little bit. It's a book called Influence. It's the Psychology of Persuasion. It talks about 6 different principles in it. But one of the principles they talk about is commitment and consistency, right? And so it's that idea of being committed and being consistent as you go throughout your year for 2024. So Influence, it's Robert Cialdini. That's just an amazing book. If you haven't read it, go read it, listen to it, however, but really get that good content. All right. The second thing, and we're going to get into the book here in just a little bit. Have your book open, and we're going to start with that page in just a moment. But before we get there, let me tell you what I want to do today. And I looked at this, and I was really kind of digging into this, the difference between motivate and inspire. And so I went to the definitions, and it said to motivate, to provide someone with a motive for doing something, stimulate someone's interest or enthusiasm for doing something. I thought, boy, that seems kind of extrinsic. And then I looked at inspire, right? And we just talked about being inspiring. And so inspiring is fill someone with the urge or ability to do or feel something. Let me say it again. Fill someone with the urge or ability to do or feel something. So at the end of today's session, I hope you have the urge to go out and plan 2024 and stay focused on your business going through 2024. Now, Todd talked last week a little bit about extreme ownership. Well, what does extreme ownership actually mean? Extreme ownership is you own everything in your world. That's extreme ownership, right? And so as you go through your business, you have extreme ownership of your business. We're going to help you with that extreme ownership. Why? Because with that extreme ownership is based off of core values, which leads to the physical actions, which leads to a changed mindset, which then leads to results. We talked about that last week as well. Let me do it again. Core values leads to physical action, leads to a changed mindset, which leads to results. Now, when you say physical actions, That's doing the thing. That's doing the work. That's not necessarily chasing squirrels. And we'll talk about chasing squirrels in a minute. Me personally, I want you to be one of the 13%. Did you know that 87% of all first-term agents don't renew their license after the first 3 years? Why? Because real estate is hard. And it's hard because they don't remain focused on their job. They don't treat their business like a business. So my goal is to make every one of you one of the 13% that's moving forward. I'm going to give you a quote. This came in yesterday or 2 days ago from one of the folks that I coach. It says, surround yourself with relentless humans, people who plan in decades, but live in moments. Train like savages, but create like artists. Obsess in work, relax in life. People who know this is finite and choose to play infinite games. Find people scaling mountains and climb together. And I thought, holy cow, we here at Coldwell Banker, I will tell you, we are relentless humans. Every one of the people in your leadership position, we are relentless, and we are relentless in the pursuit of making you incredibly successful. Yes, we train like savages, but I mean, you just heard the marketing team. They're creating like artists. They are making you successful, right? We obsess over the work that we do, but you know what? When it's time to relax, we're okay. We like to relax in life, right? We know that while life is finite, we play an infinite game. And if you've not read that book by Simon Sinek, go read that book called Infinite Game, right? It's all about playing bigger than just this short end state. You are playing bigger. You are thinking much broader than the next 1 year, right? And then find people scaling mountains, right? And let's climb together. And I say that I want you to climb mountains with me. Last in October, or at the beginning of October, I had the opportunity to do the rim to rim to rim in the Grand Canyon. 50 miles. We started at the South Rim, went down across the Valley floor, up to North Rim, and then we came back. I think many of you read an article. I appreciate all the comments that I got back on the R3. But guess what? I want to climb these mountains with you together as we go forward. So, Maddie, did you post that? Okay, so that's posted in your chat. If you want to go grab that particular quote. Okay. Now, stepping into the real estate planning business, I have spoken with a lot of different real estate agents as I talk to people in the industry here in Grand Junction, in Montrose and Telluride. And one thing that is super apparent in all of this is they're not treating their business like a business. And then I have to ask why. At the end of the day, they just don't know how. They don't know how to set up their business. They don't know how to structure their business. They don't understand goal setting. And that's what we're going to do today. So, all right, let's start. Here's a little bit of the bonus that's not in your book. But the first thing that I want to ask you is, have you thought about 10 years from now? Have you thought about 5 years from now? And have you thought about 1 year from now and what each one of those looks like? Have you said, hey, listen, this is what I want my life to look like 10 years from now? And if you haven't, it's a great exercise to stop, sit down, think about, talk to your spouse about, and say, you know what, 10 years from now, this is what I want life to look like. And then do what we do as an old Army officer, we backwards plan off of that and say, okay, so if I'm going to get there 10 years from now, let me back up to 5 years from now. What does 5 years look like so that I can reach my 10-year goal? And then we step back one more level and say, what does 1 year look like? So at the end of 2024, what do you want your life to look like? When it comes to those 4 foundations, what do you want your life to look like that's now nested to get you to your 5-year goal, which then gets you to your 10-year goal? Simon Sinek has a great book called Start With Why. And I will tell you that if you haven't read that book, go read that book as well. Your why, which is what your 10-year goal looks like, will completely inform how you set your 5-year goal and how you set your 1-year goal up. Okay. Now, people say, well, what does that why look like? Right? Here's some ideas. Do you want to provide for your family? Do you want to give back to your community? Do you just want to make a ton of money? Maybe you want to make a ton of money so you can give a ton of money away. Maybe you want to set, leave an amazing legacy for your family. Everybody's why is different, and that's okay. And don't feel because you want to make a ton of money that that's a bad why. That's a great why, right? But what is driving you for that 10, 5, and 1 year goal? Now let's talk about goals. We talk about SMART goals, SMART. And what are SMART goals? SMART goals are specific, they're measurable, they're achievable, they're relevant, and they're time bound. So is your goal specific enough? Is that 10-year goal? People say, you know what? I just want to be happy in 10 years. Guess what? That's not specific at all. How about you set a dollar figure that you want your net worth to be looking like? That's a specific goal, right? Is it measurable? So how do I measure happiness? I don't know. You can't measure happiness. I mean, it's different for everybody. So be super specific on what that measurable, what does that metric look like? When you say, hey, I want to be worth this much, I want to help these number of people, I want to, what is that impact that you want to have on your community? That's a measurable goal. Is it achievable? So is it you could say, hey, listen, I want to be a billionaire in 10 years. Yeah, it's not out of the question, but is it achievable for you? Maybe say, I want to feed 12 million people around the world. Is that achievable for you? Okay. Is it relevant? Is it relevant to what you're doing? And is it time bound? And that time bound is that 10, 5, 1 year goal. Okay. Listen, you have 1,440 minutes in every day. And how you focus those 1,440 minutes every day is absolutely crucial. And if you're just ping-ponging, like I see so many people do, just ping-ponging from event to event, from hour to hour, guess what? You are not accomplishing those focused goals, those specific goals that are out there. Okay. Now, I want to talk about a couple more concepts. That's effective and efficient. When you walk away today, you will have an effective plan. You will have an efficient plan. That effective plan is producing those desired and intended results. Your efficient plan means that you are achieving maximum productivity with minimal wasted effort or expense. I see so many people chasing the squirrel every single day, right? They get that lead source every single day. It's like, hey, they get the call, hey, bestleads.com. Guess what? Give us $500 a month for the next 12 months, and we're going to give you 1,000 leads every day. Guess what? That's not efficient, folks. That's not efficient. That is a waste of your money. I'll be the first one to tell you that. Okay. Now, we talk about marathon versus a sprint. You can spend the next 12 months running a sprint every month, or how about if we run a marathon over the next month? Let's stay focused. Let's create a tempo. Let's not just race to the end of the month. No, let's create a tempo. Let's create this marathon idea of let's go through the next year with a focused plan. So let's get right into that. Let's go forward. So now here's what I'm going to do. Pick up your book. I am not going to put anything on your book. I'm going to work on my whiteboard because anybody who knows me loves the whiteboard. And I think Maddie's going to focus this in. So let's start with the whiteboard. Let's start with building our goal for next year. Right? Now, we're gonna start with a couple of numbers. And the first number is the number of transactions that you want to accomplish next year. If you say, well, Jimmy, I just don't know what that looks like. Guess what? Just give it a stab and say, hey, listen, I'm going to do one a month, right? So we're going to do 12 transactions next month or next year. Right now, out of that 12 transactions, the next number you have to know is what's your average sale price? Here in Grand Junction, we're about 430,000. I'm going to make the math easy. I'm going to go 400,000. Okay, 400K. That's my number that we're gonna build this on. Now, when I multiply those two together, guess what? I've already done the math. We're going to come up with 4.8 million. This is your volume, folks. Okay. That's the volume of business that you do. And I guarantee you, if you do 12 transactions next year, you're going to far exceed the NAR average. Now, we take that 4.8 million and we multiply that by the average commission rate. And that average commission rate, I'm gonna be conservative, and I'm gonna go at 2.5%, right? And that's gonna give me a GCI, and that GCI is, let me get it, $120,000. So this is your gross commission income. That gross commission income, folks, that is pre-splits, pre-taxes, pre-operating expenses. That is just a gross number. Divide that by 3, and what do we get? 40K, okay? So I ask you now, as a business planner, is that 40K what you want to take home? And you might say, well, why did you divide this by 3? Guess what? Uncle Sam gets his cut. That's a third. You spend a third, roughly a third, on your operating expenses, and then the other third you get for a take home. Now, if you say, hey, Jimmy, guess what? $40,000 is not too exciting for a take home. What do you need to change? What metrics? There's 3 numbers that you can change in this particular equation. 1, do more transactions. Number 2, increase your average sale price. Or number 3, let's go ahead and work for a better commission rate. Those are the 3 numbers that you can change to influence your business at the end. This simple formula, for most new agents, they don't understand it. That's why it seems so simple, but if you've not done this work, this planning right here, you're going to squirrel all through 2024. Okay, so we're going to take this example right here. Let me tell you, folks, you do this. These are just numbers that I put in. These are not your numbers. You have to pick these 2 numbers right here. These are your goals for 2024. All right. So now you may say, Jimmy, how do we get those 12 transactions? That's the next step here. So I'm going to take 12 transactions, and there's a simple formula that says new agents. It's going to take you 70 conversations to get to 1 transaction. Okay, I say it again. You have to have 70 conversations to get 1 transaction. Let me reframe it. You might go, holy cow, that's crazy. Yeah, that's the number. You have to get 69 no's to get to your 1 yes. So when you're talking to somebody on the phone, and that person on the phone starts, it's like, gives you a little bit of grief on the phone. Guess what? Chalk that up as 1 of your 69 no's. Now, if you're an average agent, kind of middle of the road agent, it's probably going to take you about 50 to 1. And if you're a good savvy agent, I'm going to call it savage agent, which I've got a couple of in my office. It's my Cindy Ficklins, it's my Olin Clarks, it's my Julie Schaefer's, Keenan Coits. Probably it's going to take you 20 to 30 to 1, right? So that means you're picking up and you're calling 20 to 30 people, and you're going to get 1 transaction. This is the goal that you want to get to, but it takes time, it takes effort, it takes practice, it takes doing the thing that's going to make you successful. So which one of these are you? You figure that out. I'm going to take 12 transactions. Let's say I'm a fairly savvy agent. Well, let's go middle of the road agent. Okay. And I'm going to multiply that by 50. That's going to give me a number of 600 conversations. That's 600 conversations that you have to have next year. Well, then you're like, holy cow, that's a lot of conversations. Well, let's take 600 and we're going to divide that by 245. It's 245 work days in the year. Those 245 work days means that I've taken every weekend and holiday and taken that out of the mix. And I've also given you 3 weeks of vacation. Been super generous there. Let me say it again. Weekends and holidays, 3 weeks of vacation, and I come down to 245. So when you divide 600 by 245, that gives me roughly 2-point conversations per day. Let's round this up, and we're going to go 3 conversations a day. If you can't have 3 real estate conversations a day, I'm going to challenge you that maybe you're not right in the right business. However, if you can have 3 conversations a day, you're going to make it, you're going to get these 12 transactions and you're going to achieve your goals. Next question is where do I have those 3 conversations? Thanks for asking. Let's go to that next. We're going to talk about a funnel. This is your business plan. Here's and flip to that next page in the book, and you're going to see a funnel that looks generally like this. Okay, it's stratified into 3 stratas. This is your bottom of funnel. This is your middle of funnel. This is your top of funnel. Now, when you look at these, how do you define these 3? These bottom of funnel folks, these are folks that are ready to do business sometime in the next 0 to 6 months. The middle of funnel folks are 6 to 12 months, so it could be about a year out. And then this is up here, this top of funnel, are your 12 months and out. Really, let's call it 12 months to infinity. Right? So if you get a person that says, hey, you know what, we're going to die in our house, they go into the top of funnel. Right. I had an agent down in Montrose that had a conversation with some folks 1 month. They said, Chrissy, we love our house. We're going to die in our house. We're not going anywhere. Right. And she had a good conversation with them. She gave them market analysis. She got a call the next month that said, Chrissy, I know we told you that we were going to die in our house, but we just had life changes, life plan changes. And now we've got to move back to North Carolina and we need to sell our house. She got the listing because she had that conversation. Folks, this top of funnel, this is your sphere of influence right here. Everybody in your sphere goes into that top of funnel. Now, what's the engagement? That's over here on this side. How often do you talk to these folks? You're talking to these folks weekly. You're talking to these folks monthly. You're talking to these folks quarterly, right? Now, be a little judicious because if you got somebody that's 5 months out, weekly might be a little bit too much. So it may be every 2 weeks, it may be every three weeks, but nonetheless, it's less than a month. You need to stay engaged with them. This is your active bin, right? And the active bin is anybody who's either got a signed listing contract or signed buyer's agency agreement. Okay, that's this. The next question now is how do we fill this funnel? And that's the next fun piece to all of this. Okay. This piece here, when we talk about how do we fill your funnel, lead sources, there are 5 big lead sources in real estate, and they're so important that I've got them up here on my board. I keep them up here on my board all the time. They are your sphere of influence, open houses, online farming, and social media. I'm going to give you the one lead source, which is common to everybody, and that's your sphere of influence. That's where 80% of your business is going to come from, right? Especially as a new agent, engaging your sphere, 80% of your business is going to come from there. The next 2, I want you to choose personally which ones those are, okay? And I'm going to just take, for example, we're going to do an open house, which 10% of my business is going to come from, and then I'm going to say social media, which is going to be what another 10% are. If you want to put a 4th one in there, because I know there's a 4th arrow, that's okay. You can break down the math and figure out where that business is coming from. But for easy math right now, we're going to go 80, 10, 10, right? If you're interested in what those, how to do any one of these lead sources, there's a QR code in your book. Maddie, hand me the book. If you go to go right past the funnel page, past the graph page, and hit that one, there are QR codes that will take you to a class for each one of these big 5 lead sources that are out there. Okay. So, all right, we got this. Here's the funnel. Here's how you break it down. As you're engaging people weekly, monthly, quarterly, you're looking for 2 pieces of information as you understand. You're looking for timing and you're looking for motivation. right? We talk about the Ford conversation. If you don't know that, it's a ninja selling technique where you talk about family, occupation, recreation, dreams, and desires. It's a great acronym as you are talking to folks to say, okay, what am I going to talk to them about? It's right there. But as you're talking to them, you want to get to timing and motivation, right? Those are the two pieces. When are they planning on selling or buying, and why? Once you know those two pieces of information, you can put them wherever they're at in the funnel based off of this over here. And then now you know how often you need to engage them. Right? That's the beauty of this funnel. It's very intuitive. It makes sense. If you think about this with every person that you run into, then you have got your business plan, your business strategy mapped out. All right. Now, there's an old adage called business is math. The business math piece means that when we talk about lead sources, okay, and we've picked our 3 lead sources, we've said our sphere of influence, which is 80% of our business, open house, which is 10% of our business, and then we'll call it social media, which is another 10% of our business. Now we got to figure out how we engage. How do we get people? Who do we need to talk to? Remember, we have to have 3 conversations a day. That equals 15 conversations per week, right? So now we know that in order to accomplish our 12 transactions, having those 15 conversations per week, and I've even got it broken down here that says 15 times 80% gives me, here, these are conversations. That means you have to have 12 conversations every week with your sphere. That means, and now we've got remainder of 3 because we got to get to the 15. So we just go 2 and 1. So as you're doing your as you're doing your hour of power, as you're doing your prospecting, as you go out and do an open house, you need to have an open house once a week that yields 2 conversations. That's super simple. You need to be doing the work in your social media to yield 1 conversation within social media. Okay. The business is math. Guess what? Let me give you a little hint. If you can double that, you're going to double your business. You're going to go from 12 transactions to 24 transactions. See how business is math. Now, let's talk about the transactions, right? If we're talking about 12 transactions times 80%, that actually means 9.6. We're going to round down and we're going to say 9 transactions are going to come from your sphere. Okay. And we're going to say 2 transactions are going to come from open house and 1 transaction is going to come from social media. Folks, if you stay focused on this plan, if you stay focused on these particular lead sources, if you're doing the work, you're doing the tactical steps to engage your sphere, to do open houses the right way, to do social media the right way, then you're going to achieve these numbers over here. Business is math. Don't get squirreled. Don't get pulled away. We all do it, right? But what we're doing is we're giving you the framework to stay committed, to stay consistent to your business going forward. All right. I'm going to leave you with this quote. I got this from another one of my agents. It says, do the thing. Preparing to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Scheduling time to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Making a to-do list for doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Telling people you're going to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Reading this list isn't doing the thing. The only thing that is doing the thing is doing the thing. The work needs doing. So my question for you is, what is that work that needs to be done? If you don't know how, you've got an amazing team. You've got amazing leadership in all of our offices, wherever we're at. We can teach you the tactical steps to do the thing. And doing the thing is taking each one of those lead sources or 3 of those lead sources, and putting specific actions in place, specific tasks in place, and then staying true to those tasks and not getting squirreled because something just doesn't, you may get it. Let's say my favorite is, hey, I'm farming. Okay, tell me about farming. Well, I send a postcard once a month. Guess what? If you're sending a postcard once a month and thinking that you're farming, you're wasting your money. That's not doing the right thing. That's not effective and it's not efficient. We can teach you how to do that. We want to teach you how to do that. We want to put the right tactical steps in play because we want you to be incredibly successful. We want you to be one of those 13% that is knocking the socks off of the market. We want you to take your unfair share of the market. We can help you do that. We've got an amazing team, from the marketing team to the leadership team to coaching, whatever that is. My phone is I'm a phone call away. So with that said, my question for you is, what is the thing you need to do? How do you need to help? Because we're there for you. Send me questions. What do we got? Maddie, you got me some questions. Okay, so so really the question that you have is, okay, hold on.
Hey, Jimmy, repeat the question. Is it Kristen's? Do you guys count the conversations with people you are active with? Is that your question?
Yeah,
okay, that's the question, everyone.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you. Okay. If they're down here, the answer is no, because you've already landed them. They're your client. So if you have an agency relationship with them, those don't count. This all counts to all these folks that are somewhere in the top of funnel, the middle of funnel, or the bottom of funnel. Good question. What's the next one, Maddie? Anything else there, sir?
No.
Any other questions?
Okay. Lots of thank yous. Makes sense.
Right. Okay.
So
anybody, if anybody wants to unmute and ask a question, now's the time. I'd be absolutely love to answer that. I don't bite.
Well, sometimes you do. I heard.
Hey, Jimmy, you gave an acronym for when you have conversations with people, and it was family, occupation.
Yeah, great question. Let me. So Ford, FORD. F stands for family. O stands for occupation. Recreation, you got it. And then dreams. Okay. So Sarah, you up there? I'm going to have a conversation with you.
Oh, yes.
Hey, Sarah, how's the family doing?
Oh, they're great.
Good. Kids doing well?
They are. Roscoe just started wrestling.
Okay, good. Yeah, we actually had that conversation the other day. That was amazing. Right? How's he doing with it?
He's doing really well for his second year, but he got pinned in his first match, but he learned a lot.
I love it that the fact that he's going out. Hey, how's work going?
It's going great. I'm meeting a lot of really cool people and learning a lot of stuff.
Super good, right? Hey, how was the summer? Did you guys do any big plans? Did you go anywhere? Did you have some fun?
Well, we have a lot of kids transitioning either from college to grad school, or we also had one that was going into college. So we did a lot of traveling and preparing for next steps.
Right. Good. Hey, so looking forward to 2024, I mean, we've got a little bit of a changing market. We got things that are happening. You've got some transitions going on. Any big plans in the next year?
Well, I definitely got to get this wedding planned, but we're all under one house, but we aren't going to need 5 bedrooms.
Okay. Oh, wow. Tell me more about that.
Well, the only one that's officially at home next year is Roscoe. Cole is living at home, but I see him moving out soon, and everyone else either has an apartment or will be away at college.
Okay, so you're looking for a house with 5 bedrooms?
No, we have a house with 5 bedrooms.
You have a house with 5 bedrooms. So are you looking to downsize?
Well, probably eventually. I'm not sure, but we also have this boat, and because the boat's in my garage, park inside and the winter's coming. So we either need to build a new garage or find somewhere to put this boat. And he doesn't want to put it in storage.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you're going to downsize,
Mhm.
what would be the perfect house that you'd be looking for? Just tell me what that looks like.
It would have a 4-car garage and maybe
Okay.
only 3 bedrooms, but a
Okay.
fully finished basement.
Oh, full finish. Okay.
Throw all the kids when they come home into the basement.
Okay. So you want okay. So just so I'm
We need a
4-car
bigger garage and a smaller house.
4-car. Okay, 4-car, 3-bed, but you want space for family to be able to gather down in the basement or just some place where you guys can gather. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, that is.
Super amazing. Hey, I want to buy you a cup of coffee. How does next Tuesday at 2 o'clock work? I want to get some more details on this.
Oh, great. I'll reschedule my meeting with Shawnee and
Oh,
I'll meet
okay.
you at the new coffee shop in town.
Perfect. All right. I will see you next Tuesday at 2.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Okay. So what I just did is a quick role play there. I used the Ford conversation, family, occupation, recreation, dreams, and desires. I determined just as a kind of a quick thumbnail, her desires, what she wants here, right? There probably one conversation, one thing that I didn't get was her timing, but that's okay because I just used assumptive language to schedule an appointment for next Tuesday at 2. And what I mean by assumptive language is I'm already assuming that we're going to have an appointment. And so I just said, hey, let's meet next Tuesday at 2 o'clock. And if she comes back and says, well, Tuesday doesn't work because I've got a meeting with Shawnee, I'll say, okay, perfect. How does 4 o'clock sound? Does that work? Yes, that works. Okay, boom. You just locked in, you just locked in an appointment. Right. Let me add something here because we've got some time, right? Okay, good. During that particular part of the conversation, during the occupation, somebody that's talking to you as you guys go back and forth will normally ask you, how are you doing? Or what are you doing? And if you say, hey, I'm a real estate professional, I'm a realtor, they're going to go, oh my goodness, how's the market? Or they're going to ask, hey, what do you think about the interest rates? Or maybe they ask and go, hey, what do you think about the inventory right now? Those are all the same question as saying, how's the market? And here's how you respond. Boy, this is just, I call it the golden question. When somebody asks me how the market is, the golden question is, or the golden response to that golden question is, well, it depends. It depends. Are you thinking about buying, selling, renting, or investing? In fact, let me make it a little more conversational and say, hey, that's a great question. A lot of people ask me that question, especially right now. And it really depends on where you're standing. I mean, it depends on whether you're buying, whether you're selling, whether you're renting, or whether you're investing. Which one are you? And they're going to say, oh, well, we were thinking about buying. Okay, tell me more about that. Or they're going to say, hey, we were thinking about selling. We're thinking about downsizing. Tell me more. And now you get super curious. If everybody's watched Ted Lasso, there's a great dart scene in season 1. Maddie's over here laughing at me. And he talks about a quote from Walt Whitman that says, be curious, not judgmental. Right? Be curious. Be curious what they're looking for. Right? What are you looking for? You're looking for that timing and motivation. It was right there. Look for that timing, ask the questions, get to that timing and motivation, because then you can put them in the funnel. You know exactly. And even if they're 12 months out or 2 years out, guess what? They go into the funnel. You know how often to engage them. You know what to say, how to talk to them, how to follow up with them. That's all this is just it's so intuitive. If you just think, hey, when I'm talking to somebody, here's what I'm trying to get to. So, all right. Great question. What other questions do we have? Once again, unmute, ask the questions. Pop them all out.
Why don't we all, I have one thing, Jimmy. Everybody, I want to unmute again, not to ask a question, but we have to do the thing. And that thing is, it is Shawnee's birthday today, and Shawnee is our VP. Now, unfortunately, she took the day off. Well, lucky for her, but I think she probably watches this. And so why don't we I'll count to 3 and then we'll all just say happy birthday, Shawnee. All right. So unmute. All right. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Shawnee.
Shawnee.
Happy birthday, Shawnee.
Happy birthday.
That's awesome.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, that's
Nice.
awesome.
It's amazing.
Amy
right.
sounds like Jewel.
Yeah. So you want me to close this out or do you want to close this out?
Well, as long as you remind people to go to Change Life Academies or
There you go.
changelifeacademy.com/postcard and get set up for the postcard. Rachel's given me a thumbs up. And then mention that next week we're going to be here, same place, same time. And it's Kenan who's going to talk about, I have to change, building the perfect schedule. Otherwise, for that, Jimmy, I'll let you take us out.
Okay, so let me plug Kenan, right? We've had this conversation. So as you're building this funnel, you're figuring out what to do, how to be effective, how to be efficient. Guess what? Kenan's going to take it now and we're going to dial it in one more and we're going to say, here's your perfect schedule. Here's what a day looks like. Here's what your week looks like. So you stay focused, you stay committed, you stay consistent, you stay effective, you stay efficient so that you can accomplish those goals that you want to accomplish in 2024. Guess what? The tools are all right there. And if you're struggling with it, if you're like, God, I don't know, raise your hand, ask the question, come see the leadership. We are all there because at the end of the day, we want you to crush next year. Have a great week. We'll see you next week. And as always, be distinctive.
Thank you, Jimmy. See y'all.